Well, good morning, everyone. Lovely to see you all. Uh, just before we begin, I want to talk a little bit about this time of year. I mentioned it to some of our people, Noble Manhattan sales team, on Monday, but September is a very special time. We have been in business now over 20 years, and we have records going back over 20 years. And we know that there are two times in the year when sales are much better than any other time. And they last for a few months. One of those times is from September to the end of the year. So September, October, November, December. And the other time is January, February, March. And there's a reason for this, psychological reason, cultural reason, climate reason. And if you think about it, September, everywhere in the world, no matter what country you're in, from childhood, people go back to school in September.
Today.
People start university in September. People have new semesters in September. People, when they want to start a new job, they think, I'll wait until after the summer. I'll do it after the summer months, after the holidays. It's almost in our DNA that September and October are great times to do business. Great times. So we need to not only be aware of that, but use it. It would be a real shame to lose it, to miss out on this opportunity. So just be aware of that. September, October, fantastic time, new job, new career, new opportunity, new course, train for a new future, train for a new qualification, start to set a new goals. It's a perfect time. So just please be aware of that. Uh, Today, I want to touch on a topic that I very briefly touched on before, um, about a special day that turns your life around. And we all have these special days. Before I've got a little PowerPoint to show you. Before I show it to you, I want to put one thing in your mind. You've probably all heard the expression that we as humans are defined by our actions, or what we do is what creates us, or what we do makes us. Have you all heard that type of words, the different expressions? Actions are important, you become what you do, and so on.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I don't totally agree with that, but I want to put that in your mind and we'll come back to it. So let me just share a little screen with you. Let's see if this works. Um, I'm hoping you can see a small little PowerPoint I've put together. Can you? No, no one can see that. Anyone give me a thumbs up? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you got it.
So I've called it the day that turns your life around. Now, all of us, every one of us, have got times in our life when we have the opportunity, when something bad happens, when something horrible happens, to use it as a means to create a whole new future. It doesn't mean we will, but we have the opportunity. So I just want to talk about how to harness the power of very special moments, of defining moments, and to show you how to create your own turning point in life. So you can turn your life from one direction to another. The power of a single day, one decision can completely reshape your life's direction. Just one decision. It can even be a tiny decision. It can completely change the direction of your life for the next 20 or 30 years. Now, it could change it for the good, it could change it for the bad. These turning points, what creates them? How are they born? They come from emotion and clarity. It's got to be two different things. So you've got to have the high emotion, something within you that makes you either unhappy or happy, or we'll come to another word in a minute, disgusted or depressed of where you are. There needs to be a strong emotion. And then there needs to be a very clear thought. I use the words crystal vision. And you can create your day, your turning day, at any time you want. So here are four very powerful emotions. Very powerful. Number one is disgust. Now, some people will think this is a very negative emotion, disgust. But I've had this where a couple of times in my life, long time ago, I reached such a low point. I won't tell you the whole story, but I got divorced. I lost my business. I lost my house. I lost my car. I lost all my money. I lost literally everything. And for a couple of months, I was feeling sorry for myself. You know, I was really down. I was depressed. I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't meet anyone. I was embarrassed by my situation. I had no money anyway. I couldn't even afford to go for a coffee anywhere. Um, and I started to blame, which is normal. People do this, they point fingers. You blame the government, you blame the economy, you blame your family, you blame your friends, you blame your neighbors, you blame the weather, you start to blame everything. And I reached a point where one day I looked in the mirror and I was disgusted with where I was, disgusted with literally what I had become, what I had allowed myself to become. And I looked in the mirror and I thought, this is not me. I'm not the kind of guy who blames, who feels sorry for himself. I need to change. So the point I want to make is even very negative emotions like disgust, disappointment, despair, depression, these can actually be powerful emotions for good. You can turn them around. And I used those, and I was in disgust, despair, depression at that point. And I made a decision. I looked in the mirror and I literally spoke to myself and I said, no more excuses. No more excuses. Today, I change. Now, I had no idea what I was going to do. And this is important as well. You don't always have to have a plan. You don't always have to know what you're going to do and how you're going to create your money, your income, your future, your family, your relationships. You just have to start with a decision. And then comes desire. And desire is typified by, I really want this. I must have this. It's really important to me. And finally, the other very important word is resolve. Wait, and how do you define resolve? The two words, I will. I will. And nothing can stop a human being with a strong will. Literally nothing. So these four emotional stages help to transform you from wherever you are to a better, more positive situation. So discussed again, looking at that in more detail. It doesn't have to be negative. It can be a constructive point, a turning point for the good. You could be disgusted with your financial situation, the way you look, your physicality. Maybe you're too overweight or you're too thin, but you want to change the way you look. You want to change the way you feel, or result. You want to change the result you're getting. And it could be in anything, not just at work, but in your marriage, in your relationships with your family. It could be results in any way. And the important moment is that word resolve, when you say I will, and you say never again. Never again will I be in this situation, or will I feel like this, or never again will I think like this. And it starts with your thinking. You know, you've got your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. You become what you think about most of the time. You've heard me say that. It's not totally true. The truth is, you become what you feel about most of the time. It's your feelings that create your world, but you have to have the thought to create the feeling. So the thought comes first, then the feeling, and out of the feeling comes your emotion. What is emotion? Energy in motion. You can tell how, when you meet someone and they are emotionally charged, you can tell they are either very happy, very sad, they're angry, they're jealous. You can see it in their body, in their face. So thought, feeling, emotion. Three very powerful brothers that live together. So, making a decision. So going from where you're unhappy, you're disgusted, you're in despair, you make a decision. Anthony Robbins says, our future is created in our moments of decision. Decisions are very important. It's the catalyst. It's what starts to make the change, the transformation. That decision to change habits, that decision to improve skills, that decision to pursue goals. These are big decisions. The bottom line is very interesting. A true decision, because a lot of people say, oh yeah, I made a decision yesterday, or I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm not going to drink alcohol, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to eat bad food, or I'm sick of the way I look. And then the next day they're eating bad food again or doing stuff, sitting in front of the television, eating packets of crisps and stuff. Have you ever heard people say that? Oh, I'm never going to do this again. And 2 days later, they're doing it again. Yeah. That's not a decision. A decision means cutting off all other options. It's no longer even negotiable. It's not negotiable. Cutting off all other options. 28 years ago, I made a decision to become vegetarian. I'm not suggesting you do that, by the way. That was my decision. Was it difficult? No, it was actually very easy. Because for me, from that moment on, there was no other option. So I didn't even consider it. So a real decision is when you cut off all other options. There's the old story of the Vikings or someone burning their ships, Colin, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember. And Cortez in America, when he landed, he burned his ships so that his men wouldn't mutiny. They had to carry on. Yeah.
No turning back. No turning back.
No turning back. Desire, the next stage. When you strongly desire something, it creates drive, it creates focus. Now, listen, look, think about this. Let's look at it in a very positive way. Can you all of you here, think of your very first love, your very first real love, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, the very first person that you've had really strong feelings for. Maybe you were a teenager at the time. Can anyone think of that? Or is it only me? Is it? No? Give me kind of a thumbs up. Yeah, so Dinara and Michael. So at least the three of us, me, Dinara, and Michael. Oh, and Ernie. So, right, think about this. When you're young, when you're a teenager, when you first fall in love with another person, What is the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning? That person. They're on your mind. They're on your mind all day long. You can't get them out of your mind. What's the last thing you think about when you sleep at night? You go to bed at night? That person. You know? I mean, how many of you have ever had those phone calls where you're on the phone with your other person that you really love and you're saying, yeah, no, no, you say it. No, you say it first. No, I'll say it if you say it. Yeah, no, you say it. Yeah, of course I love you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but no, no, you say it again. If you say it, I'll say it. Good. And you're going to and you go bye, 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 bye. And you has any of you ever had those phone calls? Or is that only me as well?
No, maybe it's just you.
It's just me. You know, and so when you strongly desire something, it really is in your mind. It's there, pecking away all the time. And that can be a good thing. That's not a bad thing. How do you create that desire? Because sometimes we want it. We all say, oh God, I wish I could have this really strong feeling for something. How do I do it? Well, you tap into resources. You use mentors, other men and women that are a good example to you in your life. Spend time with them. Books. Books are, and today you can download so many tens of thousands of free books on PDF. You can have online libraries. There's so many. Books are a fantastic thing. Can you imagine? Some man or woman goes through an incredible experience in their life. Maybe it lasts for 5 years, and they write a book. And you and I, we can read that book in 5 days. We can learn everything that they took years to learn. That's just amazing. But here's a question. How many people in life have missed the book? How many have missed the book? The greatest minds in the world, I bet wherever you live, there's a library. And how much does it cost to join a library these days?
0.
Usually it's free. So the greatest minds in the world are available to you. The greatest ideas. We need to tap into that. Yeah. And when you have a strong desire, it bridges decision and action. It goes from you make a decision, and there's the action, but in the middle is desire. Desire is the bridge. And if you have a strong enough desire, it will then start to create in your mind the right actions to take. And finally, the word resolve. Resolve means I will do it. Absolute determination. No matter what it takes, I will do it. Quitting is not an option. So these are the 4 stages. So how to have a day like that without waiting for you to become depressed? How can you just actually create one of these days? Don't wait for luck. Don't wait for something to happen. Don't wait for lightning to strike and have a revelation. You design your own turning point. Some people use journaling. They like to journal, to write. I have periods where I do a lot of it, and then I don't do it, and then I do it, and then I don't do it. I find it very useful to take your thoughts and put them on paper or type them. There's some wonderful online journals. There's one called Penzu. It's completely free. Penzu.com. There's others. Or you can just write in a book. But putting your thoughts into words on paper is very good. Surrounding yourself with success-minded people. Brian Tracy says that our income, this is everyone in life, your income will be an average of the 5 people you spend most time with. That's interesting. Your income will be an average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So just do with that whatever you want. You know, who are you spending your time with? There's an old saying, and Colin uses it a lot in the Alpha Group when he's doing his training and running Alpha Group meetings. You know, it's if you find that you are the most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Yeah. You need to mix with people who are actually doing so much better than you, so you get dragged up by these. You don't want to be the most successful in the room because you're dragging everyone else up, which is not bad. It's not bad. You're acting as a mentor, but you also must mix with people who are doing so much better, so you can look up and you can aspire to be like that. So surround yourself with success-minded people and set yourself powerful vision and goal. Powerful vision. So coming towards the end, look at there are 4 areas that I recommend people work on in their life. Health, very important. No, literally without your health, you can't do anything else. You can't, you know. We call it a deficiency goal. What does that mean? You don't know you want it until you haven't got it. You don't know you want it or you need it until you haven't got it. You know, when you're young, when you're in your 20s, you think you're going to live forever. You think you can climb the world. So setting goals for your health, so important. Health and well-being. Finances. Learn how to master money. Learn how to control money. Learn the rules of money. There are laws. Learn how money works. Don't be guided by family and friends who have their own very set ways of thinking about money. You know? Relationships. Relationships are so important. It's very important to have a couple of loving, meaningful relationships in life. Without loving and meaningful relationships, life loses its meaning. So, you know, this could be your partner in life, your brother, your sister, with a best friend, with your mother, your father, with your children, your son, your daughter. You know, it could be with any of these people. But developing loving, strong relationships, massively important. And career. As a human being, there's something within us. We want to feel significant. Very important. We want to feel significant. And by having a job or a career that makes you feel good about what you do, it could be anything. I'm not saying what it is. It could be anything. You could be cleaning toilets, and that's okay, as long as you feel good and it gives you a sense of meaning. So it's important to have a job or a career that makes you feel good about what you do and gives you the opportunity to expand, to grow, to learn new things. Very important. And conclusion, everyone has the potential for a life-turning day. You don't have to wait for some terrible, horrible, despairing moment. 4 stages: discuss, decision, desire, resolve. So take ownership. Don't wait for some catastrophic event to start creating a whole new life. Now, at the beginning, I said to you, we've all heard the phrase, humans or men or people, we're defined by our actions, by what we do. There is a certain truth in that. But most of us are defined by what we won't do. Because of fear, because of cowardice, because of laziness or many other reasons. So although we are defined by what we do, that's probably about 35%, maybe 40%. Most of us are actually defined by what we won't do. Because as humans, we have the ability to do anything, but we don't. Why? Sometimes because of the people around us, by your peer groups. They're holding you back. This is why it is so important in life to mix with people who are a positive influence on you and help you to grow physically, mentally, emotionally, financially in all of these areas. So I'll leave you with this thought, who am I around and what are they doing to me? Who am I around and what are they doing to me? So sorry it's gone on a little bit longer today. Apologize for that. Any thoughts, any questions on anything I've covered?
Yeah.
Hi, Caroline.
If I could add about you said decisions and choices. This year I made the decision to lose some weight. And yeah, I went. Have you heard about the 75 hard challenge?
No, I haven't. What is it?
So it's a challenge whereby for 75 days you on some specific things, and it helps you more. So it's supposed to strengthen your discipline, but especially women use it to lose weight. And I did it and I lost over 10 kgs.
Oh my
Well done.
God. Wow.
Yes.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you're not supposed to take alcohol, and then you're supposed to choose a diet of your liking. So I choose to step away from carbs.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And you're supposed to do 2 exercises per day. One is supposed to be outdoor, and the other one is supposed to be inside. Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. I am so proud of you.
Good
Well
job.
done.
Good
I'm
job.
so proud. That's an amazing achievement.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
So
for you.
yeah, no matter what choice you make, yeah, the resolve you decide to do about what you're speaking, it can help in the good way or in the bad way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good.
mine
Well,
for this year was the weight one. Yeah.
well done, Carolyn. Well done. So
Yeah.
proud. Wow. Any other points or questions before we finish? No, Vali, you can stop it.